Okay, let me make sure I can be heard before I start talking.
At Silverbello Austin.
If you're on here, let me know if you can hear me real quick. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, welcome to the No More Lies 2012 YouTube channel. Today's video, we are going to be talking about how to get long hair by retaining lint, or in other words, lint retention. Now, this is a topic that a lot of people requested, and so I hope that you have your questions with you. And so the way I'm going to structure this live is that I have some notes here that I'm going to look at. And so I have three main tips that I'm going to talk about in regards to how to retain lint in order to either get long natural hair or to keep the length that you want or get to the length, whatever length that you want. And so I have three main tips I'm going to talk about. And then within those three main tips, I have other little tips underneath the big tips. Okay. So I'll be reading your questions as I'm talking as well. So feel free to use that chat function because I do want this to be interactive. I don't want to just be talking to myself. So make sure you do interact with me and ask your questions. This is your chance to ask me whatever questions that you have. You have me live. So take advantage of it. Okay. All right. So, in regards to getting long hair, retaining lint with your natural hair, the number one, I won't say the number one, but one of the major tips that you want to utilize is preventing breakage. When you have breakage, right, and breakage mainly happens at the ends of your hair. So, when your ends of your hair is breaking off, then you're not going to be able to see any lint. Your hair is going to continuously grow, but you're not going to see the length. You're going to have that stagnant length that whatever length that you're at, because you're not preventing breakage. And so I'm going to show you, not necessarily show you, we're going to tell you a bunch of ways that you can prevent breakage. And this should help you be able to retain length. Okay. Hey, Devin. So number one, so one of the ways you can to prevent breakage is by getting rid of the hand and hair disease. A lot of us heard of the hand and hair disease when you always have your hands in your hair, playing with your hair. And I know sometimes if I play with my hair, I might snag uh, the ends of my hair, and then I have to end up either cutting something or my hair is breaking off. And so you want to make sure that you're not keeping your hands in your hair all the time, playing around with your hair. And that's one way to prevent breakage. Another way to prevent breakage is what I was just doing, not pulling the ends of your hair. So some of us finger detangle, right? And so when you're finger detangling, right, you're pulling the ends of your hair, but you want to make sure that you're being gentle, because if you come up across a snag and you're just ripping it off, or even if you're just using a brush, detangling brush or a comb, you have to be careful with not pulling and tugging the ends of your hair, because again, the ends of your hair, that's going to show your length, right? And that's also the oldest part of your hair. So you have to be very gentle with it. So make sure that you're not pulling the ends of your hair as well. Another tip to help prevent breakage is to deep condition each time you wash your hair. In 1 second, because I'm hot on these lights, so you're gonna see me wipe my nose a little bit here and there. But anyway, so deep conditioning your hair each time you wash your hair. You want to be able to, I'm not sure if you're protein sensitive or anything like that, but it's good to kind of alternate between using a moisturizing deep conditioner, and then a protein conditioner to strengthen your hair. So you want to make sure that you're always deep conditioning each time you wash your hair. Another way to prevent breakage is to have the proper moisture in your hair. If your hair is dry, then your ends starts to get a little dusty and dry, and then they start breaking off if you're not taking care of your hair. So you want to make sure that you have the proper moisture in your hair. And then also to help prevent breakage is to do the search and destroy method. And I have a video on doing the search and destroy method. And that's when you go through each section of your hair and you search to see if you have like any split ends or if you have any of those fairy knots, and you just cut them out. Because if you just keep those in, they're just going to get tangled on another strand of hair, and then you're just causing even more breakage. So it's best to catch it early, to go ahead and, like, I don't know if you can see this, but probably can't see it, but I have like a little knot right there. You want to cut those out if you can. And also that goes along with making sure that you have your ends properly trimmed as well to help prevent breakage. So let me tell you, so one way to know that you have breakage is if when you're styling your hair or if you're washing your hair, either one, it's easier to see when you're styling your hair. If when you're styling your hair and you have a whole bunch of like little pieces of hair in the sink or on the floor or in the shower, that's how you know that you have breakage, okay? So let me read some of this. The less manipulating of your hair, natural hair helps. That's why. Yes, I'll get into that one. Protective styling. How often do you cut fairy knots? To be honest, I don't cut them out very often. So, for example, let's say if I go through my hair and cut a bunch of fairy knots out today, then I won't do that again until maybe a month or two later. It just kind of depends. You have to assess your hair. It's good to always do assessments of your hair to kind of know the health of your hair, making sure that, like, if you're styling your hair and it's like difficult to style your hair, you're getting across too many tangles, then they'll let you know that maybe you need to do a search and destroy or even a trim. Hello, my hair is super thick, full of knots, and very dry. Please, I need some advice on some products I can use to easily to brush out the knots. So I wouldn't recommend brushing out those knots. So if you brush out the knots, then you're gonna get more breakage. Okay, you need to. Uh, so if you have proper moisture in your hair, that should prevent you from getting as many knots. Our hair is just mainly prone to getting knots, so they're inedible. But making sure you have the proper moisture, and I also I'm going to get to the product thing in my further on. But in regards to preventing breakage, the search and destroy, and also another way to prevent breakage is not doing harsh styling. So most of you know, like I keep my hair pretty simple. I'm not doing the most with my hair. When you start like basically doing the most with your hair, for lack of better words, then you're proning your hair to have breakage because your hair is just gonna get tired of doing like being flipped up this way, being this way, another way. So I would suggest not having so much harsh styling. If you're gonna do like a really like I don't want to say difficult, but a really unique style. Just make sure you don't do that all the time. Like have some breaks in between of like maybe getting I don't know what's a difficult hairstyle with for natural hair. Like just something that's not simple for natural hair. You want to make sure that you have a balance on how you're styling your hair. And just to recap this first section before I start reading some more of your comments. So the first tip that we're talking about to help retain length is to prevent breakage. And just a rundown on all the things that you can do to prevent breakage is to get rid of having the hand and hair disease, having your hand in your hair too much, not pulling on the ends of your hair, deep conditioning each time you wash your hair, having proper moisture, search and destroy method, or doing the trim, and preventing harsh styling. So all of those are ways that you can prevent breakage. And so before I go to the next section, let me read a few more of these comments. What are your thoughts on hair grease like the Indian hemp or coconut oil grease? So any product questions, I'm gonna answer those later in the product section. So I'm gonna circle back to that. What is your my hair porosity? I have low porosity. I struggle with what types of moisturizers to use. I have type 4C hair, and it seems like nothing really works. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the products, and the third tip is gonna be in the product section, so I can stay on track. What do you think about daily bun hairstyles as a protective style? It really depends on how the bun is. So with me, I'm a bun girl as well. But if is it a high bun? Is it a low bun? Is it a tight bun around your edges? Is the bun loose, like a loose bun, and not like too tight to your scalp? To be honest, I probably do buns maybe like 80% of the time. But when I'm doing my buns are from me having my hair in twists. Like before I just got on this live, I had these mini twists in a low bun, but it was like a loose bun. So I'm not necessarily against the daily bunning. You just kind of have to like maybe switch it up from high and low so that you don't like stress side of your hair too much. Okay. Anybody have any other questions about preventing breakage before I move on. Do you have a small fan you can use to help? Right, I do have a small fan, but it's gonna make the video loud if I turn it on. So I'm just gonna try to push through. Do I want to grow my hair any longer? Um, so I'm in a position where I'm okay with the length that I have. I would like to have longer hair just to see how long my hair can get, but it's not necessarily like a goal that I'm reaching for. Like I gotta get like knee length. I mean, I would like to see my hair get to knee length if it can, but I'm not necessarily like making that the target. So I'm just like being comfortable with what I have right now. My hair is shedding. What do I do? So Puffy, I need to know a little bit more about like your hair routine to answer that specifically with the shedding to know exactly what you're doing. But like for example, are you deep conditioning each time you wash your hair? Like, are you keeping your hair in like weave styles all the time? What are you doing with your hair? Would you recommend the Ref Air on the low setting for stretching your natural hair? Um, so I'm not necessarily. So I'm kind of like anti hair tools just a little bit. I got my hair straightened once, and had a blow dry done twice in my hair. But as far as when it comes to me doing anything, I'm just kind of anti hair tools. I try to just only use my fingers. I don't even really use a hair tie most of the time. But when it comes, but I do understand like as far as like the blow drying thing, and I actually do want to blow dry my hair on like the cool setting for a style I want to do. And so I wouldn't be against using a low setting. It just depends on how often are you trying to blow dry your hair to stretch your hair. I like to stretch my hair by putting my hair in two strand twists and letting those dry in a bun, and then it stretches out your hair, and you can kind of fluff it to your liking. How often do you wash, and what was the biggest thing that helped? So okay, actually, so let me move on to the second section. So the second big tip in helping retain lint is your hair care regimen or your hair care routine. So with your hair care routine, you want to be able to incorporate long-term protective styling. And so what I mean by this is that, for example, if I put my hair in two strand twists today, well, they're in two strand twists, but like say a different size because I'm not taking these out overnight. If I put my hair in two strand twists because I want to wear a twist out at some point, then what I would do is I would like put my hair in two strand twists today, and then I would keep those in for maybe like 4 to 5 days, either wearing it like in a loose bun or just wearing it out, depending on how well you twisted your hair. I would leave that in. And then whenever I'm ready to wear a twist out for whatever like reason or a special occasion, then I will wear the twist out. So I I like the idea of keeping your hair put away, but with your own hair. So I told y'all before that I like two strand twists, or at least I mentioned that before. I've used two strand twists mostly all the time, and it's just because it's just easier to make that two strand twist turn into a hairstyle whenever I'm ready. So I will wear two strand twists for like maybe 2 weeks at a time, and then whenever I'm ready to wear my hair out, then I just refresh it, and then I already have a hairstyle ready to go. And as far as like washing my hair, I've when we did the last protective style challenge, that challenged me to wash my hair a little bit more often because I had switched to washing my hair maybe once a month or once every other month. And so now I'm washing my hair every 2 to 3 times a month, or every 2 to 3 weeks. So that's how often I wash my hair, every 2 to 3 weeks. In the beginning, when my hair was shorter, I did wash my hair every week, but now it's like every 2 to 3 weeks. And so the long term Lady D491, so doing protective styling with my own hair is the thing that helps the most. So keeping my hair in two strand twists, putting it in a bun, and wearing my hair in like a twisted bun kind of look. And then if I want to wear the ponytail out to like just kind of show some texture or whatever, I'll do that, or wear a twist out whenever I'm ready to have a style. And if you hear some noise, ignore that background. My kid is downstairs. I don't deep condition all the time. I don't deep. I can't talk. I don't deep condition all the time, but I have been told it's not good to deep condition a lot with heat because I have low porosity hair, but I will still deep. So in regards to deep conditioning, I don't deep condition with heat. I put a plastic cap over my head, and so these last maybe past few months, I've been deep like doing many deep conditionings in the shower and just letting the steam from the shower kind of give me a little heat that I need, but I never deep condition with heat. I just put a plastic bag over my head, and I use a towel or a big shirt, old shirt on top of it, just to generate just enough heat, and then I wash it out. Yeah, West Coast Cali said I tried the two strand twist, but I was sweating my head, and it makes my root snappy, and I'm tender headed, so I have to do. I mean, look, my twists are kind of old, but I sweat really easily, and so with the two strand twist, if you do them a little smaller, that will last a little longer. If you do it a little smaller, I notice when I do bigger twists, my hair doesn't last that long. But when I do smaller twists, my hair does last a little longer. Okay, let me go. Let me finish the rest of my routine tips, and so also, so when we talk about retaining lint, you also want to think about your edges, right? Because you want to have lint to your edges, right? And so when you do protect the styling, you want to make sure, or any kind of style, really, you want to make sure that you're not putting a lot of stress on your edges because you don't want to have, hair back here but none in the front. And so I'm going to talk to you about a product in the next section, but just making sure that you're not doing like just harsh styles for your edges too, because you want to be able to have retain lint for your edges as well. So no harsh detangling when it comes to your hair as far as your hair routine. Like I said, I like the finger detangle, and I finger detangle mainly in the shower when I'm washing and conditioning my hair. But if you're comfortable using a brush or a Y2 comb, you can do that too. But just make sure that you are not detangling your hair, like really just being real rough, because then you won't be able to retain lint in the long term if you're doing that. Okay. So in the past, I did used to wash my hair in two strand twists when my hair was shorter. Hold on one second. Can you get him? Go back downstairs. No. Go back downstairs. No. Sorry, y'all. We got a visitor. Anywho, I did when my hair was shorter. I did used to two strand wash my hair in two strand twists, and I actually used to wash my mini twists when I had my hair in when my hair was shorter. But that started leading to having tangles in my hair. But I did like the routine that I had when I would wash my hair in bigger twists to make it easier for my wash day. One second. One second, y'all. This is so. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. I have a visitor up here, so in regards to recommending to washing your hair with the twist, if they're like really in bigger sections, then I would, because then it'll be easier for you to get in your scalp to clean your scalp, and then you just easily take those twists down to style your hair, however you're going to style your hair. So if there's bigger twisting, yeah, I actually did use some, like I said, like washing my hair in two strand twists. Can I do a video with your hair progress each year? Yeah. How do you keep your hair moisturized in between wash days your hair isn't dry and brittle and then breaks off? I'm gonna talk about that in the next section about how do I keep my hair moisturized. Yes, deep conditioning with heat does help with the healthier hair, which is why I try to generate the heat naturally with the plastic cap and a towel and towel and a shirt. Sorry. How long does it take for you to do those twists, and about how many twists do you put in? So when it comes to my mini twists, it really depends. These took about 5 hours. I kind of cheated, so they're kind of bigger in the back but smaller in the front, and I keep these up for up to 4 weeks. I have kept them in my hair for like 6 to 8 weeks. Thoughts on the Denman brush? I have personally haven't used a Denman brush, Denman brush in my hair personally. Um, but I had it on my hair whenever somebody straightened my hair and blow dried it. I don't necessarily have anything negative to say about it. I always wanted to try it. I'm just scared because I've gotten so used to just using my fingers that I'm just more comfortable with using my fingers. So I don't have any personal like recommendations for whether you should use one or not. But the stylists who used it on my hair, they did a pretty good job with using it. Well, not the first one. The first one did, and I had breakage after that one. But the second one, when I got my hair straightened, they did a good job. Thanks, Leah. What are my thoughts on co-washing? So I actually, and you'll notice if you've been natural long enough, then you know that your hair journey and routines change throughout the year. So I used to co-wash my hair. I did used to co-wash my hair, and I didn't have any problems with it. But then you had people talking about, oh, you're not supposed to co-wash your hair. I had actually went a long time without even using shampoo on my hair. This was probably like year two, like in between year one and two of being natural, where I wasn't even necessarily using shampoo on my hair. But I also noticed that I had more product buildup on my scalp. And once I started using a good shampoo that I really liked, then that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna always shampoo my hair. There are times where I might just do a co-wash, and that's because I'm probably gonna do like a quick style, and I'm gonna probably wash my hair like a few days later. But I don't, I mean, if you use a co-wash that's like has a cleaning agent in it, then I wouldn't be against using a co-wash, but you should not exclusively use co-washing. I would say that I would alternate like shampooing 1 week and then co-washing the next week if you do want to do co-washing. Thank you so much for these wonderful tips. No problem, Puffy. How often do you retwist your hair when they are in twist, and how often do you moisturize them? So it depends on what kind of twist. These twists, I'm not retwisting nothing. They're gonna be like this, and they're gonna be raggedy looking, and everything else until I take them down. But other sides, my small twists, when I do like small twists or medium twists, so I keep them in my hair as long as they stay like nice looking. Once they stop looking nice looking, then I take those down. I re-moisturize using the method I'm gonna tell you next, which most of y'all already know. And then I put my hair in like maybe 4 plaits or 2 plaits, and then just to keep the texture in my hair and keep my hair like protected at night. And then what I do is I just wear my hair in like a textured looking bun from because the texture from the twist out and everything. I wear my hair in a texture looking bun, mostly a low bun, and then that would be my protective style for the next week. So like maybe I could try to go a whole week with it wearing the 2-strand twist, and then the next week I wear a bun, and then it's time for me to wash my hair again if I'm not lazy and stretch it out a third week. And as far as like re-moisturizing them, it kind of depends on how lazy I am. I can go, it can be maybe every 4. So when I do, I'm going to talk about products. So when I do like the Loco method, the LOCO method, which is liquid, oil, cream, and the oil. When I start off with doing that, then I can keep my hair moisturized longer. So I can probably go like 4 days without re-moisturizing my hair again. And so when it's time to re-moisturize, then I re-moisturize maybe on the 4th day. And then when I re-moisturize, I do the LCO method, which is the liquid, cream, and oil. I use liquid, which is water. Some people use leave-in, but I don't believe in using too many products. So I use water, a cream, and then the oil. And then that will probably last me like a good 2 to 3 days. So like the first 4 days, and then the next 2 days, and then probably 2 or 3 days after that. Do you have some cute hairstyle suggestions for short hair? So I like a good mohawk. I don't know how old you are, but I like a good mohawk. Um, I have some styles where I braid it. I mean, you have to be real comfortable in your own skin when you have short hair, right? Because not every not everybody's comfortable having short hair and wearing certain things. So I've worn my hair with like the braids in the front, and then having it kind of curly out in the back, and then like I said, the mohawk, doing the mohawk. Those the main two that I've done as far as like with my own hair, and I don't think I've done, and I don't think I did anything else. You can't really do. I, I don't know. What do you consider cute? To me, I was my little teeny weeny afro, the wash and go. That was cute. Everything I did with my short hair, I thought was cute. I thought, but yeah, I mean, you really have to be comfortable in your own skin, knowing that whatever you do to your hair is just gonna be cute regardless. So yes, I have had a setback when the first person who blow dried my hair, they gave me a whole bunch of breakage, and they cut off a whole bunch of my hair. They were supposed to do a trim, and they cut off a whole bunch, and they set me back a whole year. Yeah. You mentioned edges. So are you against using products to lay down edges, or we just need to make sure we're not wearing styles that pull out our edges? Wearing styles that pull out your edges. I'm not necessarily against laying down your edges. In any of my videos, you're not really gonna see me use any edge control because I'm just comfortable just you know walking out however it's gonna look. But there are people who are not comfortable with that, and so I there's you can use edge control. I just don't necessarily like the idea of combing, like the harsh combing and brushing down the edges so much all the time. Moderation is the key. Like if you're not doing it all the time, then yeah, but moderation. But if you can actually lay your hair down with some castor oil. Put some castor oil on your edges if you're a castor oil user, and that will lay your edges down without using harsh products. My hair porosity is low. I've been natural for 10 years. And my hair is a little past my butt right now. And I have 4B hair. So, okay, just to recap the second tip. So the second tip is making sure you have a good hair care routine or regimen so that you can prevent uh, so that you can retain and have long hair. So you want to incorporate protective styling. Hopefully you can incorporate long-term protective styling. I recommend protective styling with your own hair. And then you also want to make sure that you're not being harsh with your edges, and you're not doing harsh detangling when it comes to your hair routine either. All right. So just for if anybody who came on, the first thing we talked about is breakage. The second thing we talked about was routine. So the third thing is the health of your products that you're using. So in regards to products, and I'm going to scroll back up to some comments about products. So in regards to products, you want to make sure that you're not using products that are drying out your hair. You want to look at the ingredients. If you're not familiar with like what's a good ingredient in a product, if you use a product and it makes your hair feel dry, then it's not a good product for your hair. If it makes your hair feel dry just after a day of using it, then it's probably not a good product for your hair. And then also when it comes to like products, not all, products that have natural ingredients, not all of them are good for you either. I talked about coconut oil in a video where I talked about should you use, coconut oil. And by coconut oil, I mean like the raw coconut oil, not the coconut oil that's in the product. And so, for example, I used like coconut oil exclusively for some years. And I noticed that when I started using it more and more, like as the years passed by, my ends looked really crunchy. It looked really brittle and dry. And then whenever I got my hair straightened, the hairstylist, she immediately told me I need to stop using coconut oil on my hair because I was over processing my hair. Because coconut oil does act as a protein, and that's why I was using it for as a protein, because I wasn't necessarily using a hair product that had protein in it. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just use coconut oil. And I use coconut oil like every time I wash my hair, every time I style my hair. And so you want to make sure that you know that the products that you're using in your hair is not, even if it's a natural product, you want to make sure that you're not using it to the detriment of your hair, because you can still use products that are all natural in the ingredients and it can be a detriment to your hair. So you want to alternate using certain type of products if you know that using a certain product is going to cause like your hair to be really drying or cause it to be brittle in any kind of way. All right, let me go back to So in regards to my thoughts on Indian hemp or coconut oil grease, I actually never used Indian hemp, so I don't have any thoughts on that per se. In regards to like, I haven't used the coconut oil grease either, so I haven't used any grease period on my hair since being natural. I'm not necessarily against it, uh, but I just try to be mindful of what products are in there, like mineral oil and stuff like that, petroleum, and so that's why I haven't tried it. Um, let's see, scrolling down back to the products. Yes, coconut oil does works wonders. I love coconut oil dehorming, but I had to lay off. I will say after I stopped using coconut oil on my hair, I noticed that the health of my hair. I haven't used coconut oil in just over a year, like pure coconut oil, not coconut oil. I'm obviously using products that have coconut oil in it, which is different. I'm talking about like pure, like I was like slathering pure coconut oil on my hair, and I love it, and I loved it, and I don't know. I feel like I might go back to it. I might just use it in moderation, but I did notice that the health of my hair is way better without using like pure coconut oil. I have not used. I don't even know how to say that word, deharm. I have not used those products before. I have not. Um, Anna, when you say hair mask, you mean homemade hair mask or like products at the store hair mask? I have used some hair masks. My favorite deep conditioner is the Shea Moisture. I mentioned this in my products video. A lot of y'all been asking me about my products, and I'm gonna give y'all an updated products video. But my old products video I still like to use the Shea Moisture Manuka and Mafira Oil Intensive Hydration Mask, I think it's called. And then I also been using the Juices and Botanics deep conditioner in the shower. Uh, yeah, I haven't used rice water. One of the products I have has rice water in it. One of those juices and botanics, but I haven't been using that one. It hasn't worked well for my hair. The oils that I do use, so currently I'm using the juices and botanics. It's called a hair growth oil, but I'm not necessarily using for quote hair growth. I've been using that, and I've been using the Nature's Taji's um, oil that I just featured in a recent video. I've been using that in my scalp as well as that juices and botanics. And I have a link in my link tree has a code to save $5.99 on that juices and botanics. And other oils that I like to use, I've just been switching up my hair routine right now because I'm trying different things. But a staple oil that I will always use is jojoba oil and avocado oil. Those two are my favorites. And when I run out of jojoba oil, I go get grapeseed oil because jojoba oil is really expensive. And so whenever I go back to the store, I just always just get a grapeseed oil just to not feel like I'm spending a lot of money. But it kind of works the same. But those two are my favorites. Protein that I use since I stopped using coconut oil. So that Shea Moisture, this long word, Manuka honey and Mafura oil, that deep conditioner, it has hydrolyzed protein in it. So that's and then the juices and botanics deep conditioner I was using, it has protein in it as well. It's further down the list, but it does have it in it. And I do sleep with a bonnet. Well, I do. I don't have a silk pillowcase. I don't. I want to get one. I should get one. I used to have one. So, so all silk and satin pillowcases are not created equal. I used to have a silk. It was a silk one. Yeah, I used to have a silk pillowcase, and it start getting them little fairy knot things in there, or the string starts pulling out, or like the consistency. One of the pillows, silk or satin, I can't remember. The consistency in the pillow is not the same. So if you like scruff your hair against it too many times, it'll start pulling on your hair. I can't remember which one. I feel like it was a silk pillowcase. Like they're not created equal. But I do sleep with a headscarf all the time. I never ever go to sleep without one, and I only use a bonnet if I have like if I go to bed with a high bun or something, I don't want to take the high bun out. I just put a bonnet over it. Yes, I could put all my hair in a bunnet. I need a new bunnet. Drop your recommendations for bigger bunnets because the one I got, it's not really that big, and the scrunchie is not, the elastic thing is not, well, it's not like tight enough. So how did I grow my hair so long? So by retaining length. That's the main way. I stopped. I did things to to prevent breakage, which I listed in the beginning, and then my hair care regimen, and then the product. So with my hair, I mainly, that's why if on my channel, you're not gonna see me doing like all these different styles. You're not gonna see me doing no flexi sets, no curl sets, no none of that. Because I focus on retaining the length of my hair. If I do all that stuff to my hair, I start stressing my hair out. For one, because I don't even know what I'm doing with a flexi rod. I don't even own one of those. So if I try to do that, I'm just gonna stress myself out, stress my hair out with trying to put that in. So that's why you're not gonna see, if you see me have a video on flexi rod or something like that, that's because I got it right the first time. But I'm gonna always wear my hair in two strand twists, to help keep my hair long and to grow longer. So I do not use the Loc Method. I used to use the Loc Method in the beginning, but the Loc Method, it does nothing, because when you do the Loc Method, it also depends on the products too. The Loc Method, the LOC method, the liquid oil cream. So let me try to explain this right. So when it comes to putting your products in, you want to be able to seal in the products that you're putting in, right? And so with the Loc Method, I feel like it just leaves my hair exposed to not sealing in that moisture that the products that I just put in. Now I did mention in my other video, or some questions, some people asked me about that Nature's Taji product, the hairdress that I use. I only use that one product along with the water. So technically, but the product had so much oil in it that I didn't even need to seal in my hair with nothing. Like, and that's an exception when it comes to using like hair butters like that that have a lot of oils in it. You don't necessarily need to seal with it. I like to seal with it just for extra protection and to keep my hair moisturized longer. But if you don't, if you're doing the Loc Method, that's the only downside. You know, it doesn't keep your hair moisturized longer, which is what I like to do. Keep my hair moisturized longer, so I don't have to do too much to it. The Camille Rose. I have not. Only thing I've used from Camille Rose was that wash and go video that I did. If you watched my wash and go video, I used the Camille Rose curl maker and whatever other product that I use with it. But I didn't necessarily. I don't know. I have to. Camille, the products were very light for me, for my liking. How often do I trim my hair? So the last time I trimmed my hair was when my trim video, and that was, I think, April. So the last time I trimmed my hair was April. Before that, I hadn't trimmed my hair since 2020. So I only really trim my hair like maybe once or twice a year. So I'm due for one now. But I do the search and destroy methods in between time. So that's the alternative. So if I'm not trimming my hair too many times, I'm doing a search and destroy method where I'm getting rid of split ends so I can make sure that I'm not compromising the length of my hair. Teresa, the replay will be available if you missed the tips. I talked about 3 main tips, and within those tips, there were like the things that you can do for those tips. What about styles with the mini twist is cheek length hair? Cheek length styles with the mini twist. So let me see if I can demonstrate it. So because I've been doing mini twists on my hair since the beginning. So since I don't know, probably the year after I went natural, I've been doing mini twists. And so if you can do something like this, like kind of twist it and twist the other side like that, and then you can kind of like do like a roll tuck and pin at the back, something like that. I'm not sure if, yeah, you can do like a roll tuck and pin. I actually, when my hair was shorter with the mini twist, I just wore it out. That's the main. I just wore it out because I didn't really have another choice. But I did do like the like a roll tuck and like pin at the back. Can't really demonstrate it right now without looking cray. Yes, I'm past due for a trim. I do the LCO and I do the LCO and the LOCO method. I'll alternate those two. Um all right, thank you for coming. Yes. Did I take any vitamins during my hair journey? So the only time I really took vitamins was when I had a kid. And then recently during the health challenge, I did a health challenge a couple months ago. I was taking the Juices and Botanics hair growth vitamins, and I really, really love those. I'll just take them. I'll just take them just because they taste good, to be honest. But I can't take them right now because I'm dealing with some health issues. I can't have folate for 3 months right now, and so but once that's over, I'm gonna be taking those because they just taste good. Whether they do something for my hair or not, they taste delicious. So Juices and Botanics hair growth berries, and I do have a link in my on my channel. Trying to see if I missed any questions. Let me know if y'all have any other questions. But just for a recap, again, we talked about preventing breakage to get long hair to help retain length. We talked about your hair care regimen. We talked about, and also within the preventing breakage, they also had something about it. We also talked about hair care regimen stuff like deep conditioning every week or every time you wash your hair, rather. And then talked about the healthier products, making sure you're using products that work for your hair, that's not drying out your hair. Because dry hair equals breakage. And just because you're using a natural product doesn't mean that it could be good for your hair too, because not all natural ingredients are created equally, and your hair might not like something. Did I miss anybody's question? Trying to see. How many inches do I normally cut? It really just depends. So when you want to retain length, you don't want to cut off a whole bunch of inches. To be honest, if I wouldn't cut off more than 1 to like 1.5 inch, and that depends on if you've been keeping like regular trims on your hair. Like I wouldn't cut off more than like 1 inch or 1.5 inches. And again, you want to supplement with doing the search and destroy method to get rid of any like split ends. Because when you do a trims, I don't care how good the stylist is. You're never gonna like get rid of all the split ends. Like even when I got my hair straightened and when I got it blow dried professionally, I still came home and I was looking at split ends. So that's why I like the search and destroy method, because you can get rid of split ends better that way. Oh, so when I got my hair flat iron, how many inches? When I got my hair flat iron last year, I think she cut off probably about 2 to 3 inches, and then I cut off like another 1 to 2 last year. But I also had went like a year with it, probably more than that, a year without trimming my hair or doing the search and destroy method. I was like really slacking, and I was washing my hair like every other month. Like I was like really slacking, so I needed it. So in regards to deep conditioning, how I deep condition. So I deep condition my hair 2 different ways. One way that I deep condition my hair is that in the shower. If I deep condition my hair, that's because I'm just doing a quick deep condition. I'm not trying to like do anything intensive, and so I'll just put the deep conditioner on my hair, put the plastic cap on in the shower, and then like take a shower and let the steam from the shower generate, and then I'll wash it out. Try to like stay in at least like 10 to 15 minutes to give it some time to penetrate my strands. The other way I deep condition my hair is doing like intense deep conditioning, which is when I put the plastic cap over my head. I use an old t-shirt, I wrap it around my head, or a towel really tight, not really tight, but just enough so I can generate some heat. And then I leave that on my hair typically for at least 2 hours, but I have left it in for 24 hours. And actually, for maybe like at least, I've been natural for 10 years, probably 6 or 7 out of 10 years of being natural, I've deep conditioned my hair for 24 hours all the time. So, but I also moved away from that because just for time limits, but at least 2 hours is good for me since I'm not using heat on my hair. And then I get back in the shower and I wash it out. Um, any advice for someone living in a dry climate? Advice as far as what? What kind of advice in regards to living in a dry climate? I do not ever. I don't even own a steamer, so I don't ever steam my hair, which is why I would deep condition my hair for so long in the past just to make sure that I got enough heat in my hair. And but you don't want to over process your hair. And I didn't necessarily feel like I was over processing my hair because I feel like my hair thrived, obviously, but I did move away from that deep conditioning for 24 hours. But if you're in the shower, the steam from the shower can help generate the steam naturally. I leave the shirt dry, so I put a dry shirt over the plastic bag over my head. And if you had like a heat, that's like an alternative to using a heat cap. Like I said, I try to generate my own heat naturally. So I just put an extra layer on top of the plastic bag to try to give it, to let my hair, like kind of, my scalp kind of heat up, if that makes sense. For moisture retention, so using the LOCO method. So that's what I would do. So the LOCO method is basically the Loc method, but you add an O on the end, which is an oil, sealing in with the oil. That helps with retaining moisture longer. You can also do the LCO method too, which is the Loc method flipped. Okay. Do y'all have any other questions? So I want to tell y'all what's coming up on my channel while I wait to see if anything comes up. So the Protector Style Challenge is coming back for the fall. It's going to start pretty soon. I'm going to announce that video. That video is going to come out next week of all the details for the Protector Style Challenge. It's going to be more interactive this time. And so you don't want to miss those details for that Protector Style Challenge that's going to be coming up. And also, if you haven't already, if you don't know, I do have an email list now. I'm gonna be offering natural hair coaching sessions for inspiration and motivation for people who want to stay natural or have struggles in their natural hair journey. Also for people who want to go natural but they're scared to or don't know where to start. So I'm also going to be doing that. If you join my email list, you'll know exactly when I'll be starting that. Do you have daughters? If so, are you growing their hair too? I don't have any biological daughters. I do have 2 stepkids, but my son, I'm actually growing his hair. He has like about shoulder length hair. So I have not tried unjacking hair products. My coin hadn't stretched that far yet to try something I don't know if I'll like it. Thank you, Deslin. Time goes by fast. We'll be on here for almost an hour. That's all the tips that I have for retaining lint right now. The top 3 that I mentioned. So I'm happy to stay on here to answer any additional questions that may come in. Otherwise, I'll be ending this live pretty soon. What good moisturizer for low porosity hair? So I like a good cream. There's a couple that I like: Melanin Hair Care, Elongated Styling Cream. I like Juices and Botanics Juicy Curls Cream. And I do like that Nature Taji's hair dress. That's on my product list now. How do you stop your hair from tangling? Making sure your hair is properly moisturized. So what I noticed that when you keep your hair properly moisturized throughout the if you wash your hair on day 1 and you're going to wash your hair on day 14, right? If you keep your hair properly moisturized in between those days, then when day 14 comes to wash your hair, then your wash day should be a breeze. You should not be having to you should not have to detangle your hair like for an hour or more. Like you should like be in and out of the shower when you properly moisturize your hair in between those that from day 1 to day 14 of washing your hair, if that's your hair routine. So like I said, if you use the Loc method or the LCO method, that should help you keep your hair tangle free after you style your hair the first time once you wash it, and then moisturize your hair as often as you need to until you get to the wash day. You don't want to like wash your hair today and then you don't do nothing, you don't put another product on your hair until it's time for you to wash your hair on day 14. That's not going to work. You have to moisturize your hair in between the wash days. And then over time that will help prevent tangles and deep conditioning your hair as well each time you wash your hair. Okay. Anybody have any other questions? I think I sweated enough under this light. It got dark outside. Okay. Braided my hair instead of twisted it. So I used to do braid outs, but when it comes to braids, what I don't like about braids, and I do want to do some braids. Actually, I want to do some mini braids or some like small, medium braids. But the thing when it comes to braids is that when you're taking down the braids, you have to like dig your nail or dig a comb or something. You have to dig into your hair to unravel the braid, when especially at the very ends. And so when you're digging in there, like for me, when I have to dig in my braids and like, pull the strands apart, I don't know. I just feel like I'm causing unnecessary breakage to my hair unless you twist your ends of the braid, like do like this far long of a twist or something. But when it just comes to those braids, like I just feel like it creates unnecessary damage to the ends of my hair. So I try not to do anything that has to do with braids unless I'm doing my two, like my four braids or my plaits. And when it gets to like this far down on my hair, that it's a twist. So it's like a braid and then it's like a 2-strand twist on the end. But I like the flexibility of the 2-strand twist is easier to take down versus a braid, and it takes longer to take a braid down. But I love a good braid. I just try not to do them as much because, like I said, I feel like when you're digging in your hair with the braid, it's just causing like you scratch. I feel like you're scratching the strands of your hair. Is what I think at the ends. Okay. I think I answered everybody's question. I'm just gonna scroll through one more time. I think I answered all the questions. Oh, no problem, Puffy. How often do you wash your scalp? Well, I wash my hair. When I wash my scalp, I'm washing my hair as well, and I do that every 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. Well, we've been on here for almost an hour. I hope y'all enjoyed this live. And if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and comment as well if you want to join into the discussion. If y'all don't have any other questions, I thank y'all for joining me with this live. And I hope to do more lives with y'all coming up soon. in the near future. Oh, actually, I am going to do another live. So if you look at my Linktree link, I put a form on there. This like it says like questions for a live coming up or something like that, a Q&A. So you can submit your questions, any kind of question you have on there, and I'm going to do a Q&A video pretty soon. So that will be the next live, is a Q&A. Thank you, Puffy. Yeah, so fill out that Q&A form. You just type in whatever questions or comments you have, and I'll answer those in an upcoming video, a live video. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end this live here. Again, I thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all in my next video next week. Again, we're going to talk about the Protect the Style Challenge and all the details. So make sure you're subscribed and you hit that notification bell so you know when that video is coming out. All right. So I will see y'all next time.